But unfortunately,
yes.
yeah.
You accidentally.
Well, yeah, they didn't know. Well,
let us know.
Hello and welcome to Lady Valorith Games. Today we are going to open up this box. Unfortunately, I didn't know this is the box that I was looking for, so I, as you can see, already pre-opened it. So
Hey, it happens.
it happens. But anyway, we're going to go through. This is the third delivery, and what we have inside. It still gives me the receipt for everything.
Purchase, that's cool.
So that's the purchase thing, and then we have in here.
Also, Alice is here, and
Yes,
Steve is
Yep.
behind the
Again,
camera.
thank you again to Steve for being our cameraman, and Alice is, at least as we said, here. We have issue 7.
Ooh.
And then we have.
Ooh, and see, I love how it comes with a nice
Yes.
little.
Yeah.
It comes with a ruler, in case you know.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice.
And then
Put
here's
that over here.
issue 8.
Ooh, those are tiny though.
Yeah.
Those are the smaller ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
Those smaller. The smaller figurines.
They're
They're the
the
minis. They're the
yeah, the
minis.
Termagants.
Yeah, the mini termagants. Those
Yeah.
things. Those things got some.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay, but there's more of a swarm.
Yeah. They're for the swarm.
Yeah, all right.
And then we come in with
More paint.
2 more paints.
Ooh, is that the? Which one is that? Is that the?
This
the
is
gold? Is that
Abaddon Black, and
and,
I do believe it's Retributor Gold, but I don't know for certain because I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, so there's that one,
There's
and
that
so that's 2 new paints. And then we come in and we get number 10, the librarian. This is your librarian,
yes,
and then
and
we
then
get
you get
another
another paintbrush.
and another brush.
That's gonna be good.
And then last but not least in this box, we get the Combat Patrol binder, which everything that you see here,
Books and stuff we can all put.
all
in
of
here.
these here,
We
and
can
then
put in
everything that we
We've
got
already-
from before,
Yeah, we
these
put in
others,
we can all put in here.
yeah. Each
Well,
one
that
of these
would be
Combat
nice.
Patrol magazines will end up going into this binder.
And that way they're
Yeah,
we have
and
a
it's
binder,
maintained,
just-
and it gives
yes.
you all the rules,
all the
stories,
information.
everything that
Exactly.
goes on. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let us first open up, since we have, since those are, no, we're gonna open up
The binder.
the binder first, because they're supposed to have a lot of useful information. So I'm just gonna slide right down the edge here, open it up, and on the inside it looks like, can't really tell yet. No, I'll get it.
There.
There.
That is beautiful. Look
It's
at
a
that.
nice binder. It's a good
Look
looking
at
binder.
That is a great looking binder.
You know?
Let's put all the
Yeah.
trash in there for now. And then
You know,
we can
and then we can open it up.
Oh,
And
wow.
it has, see,
See,
your,
your little dividers.
yeah, it's got for the build, the storyline, the painting, to read,
to read it, to count,
to collect.
collect, and then to play, which
Yeah,
is nice.
yeah, it gives you all of
All
this
of
stuff.
that. I know. That's
You know,
cool.
so yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. I think I'm going to stick all of
I
these
like how
in.
I like the pictures even on the
Yeah.
inside. That's pretty. Look at that. You got more, even though they're not.
This is
You got almost all
the,
the,
the factions.
Yeah, you got all the factions right there.
Well, no, this is the factions that you're getting.
But yeah, in this.
You got
Right now,
the
let me get a
Space
picture of
Marines. You got Nids, Orcs, Chaos.
Chaos, and then you got what are these guys again? I forget.
You got Leagues of Votann.
And then you have this guy.
Yeah. Like
This
I
guy's
said,
cool.
yeah.
This
You
guy
know,
is-
but yeah, you get.
Some of these weapon, like this weapon, is freaking awesome. Look at that.
Yeah.
I love the I love how they go to detail with everything.
Oh, that's got a nice sound.
I know.
So
a
I'm
very
gonna
beautiful
stick
sound.
all of these in.
That's got a very beautiful sound when it opens.
So we'll have all of this available when we go into. But yeah, as a whole, I've been waiting for this binder because then I can start.
Putting everything in there.
Yeah, eventually. But I think one of the things I'm gonna do for this is to find some little hole
Yeah.
protectors
Yeah.
so that you tape it on the other
Yeah.
side and do that.
That would probably be the. So you want what?
So you want to start with issue 7. All right. So we are going to open up issue 7. Yes.
me put this
Move this
aside.
aside. Here is issue 7. Yes, please. You know, we're gonna do it's easy open here. I'm not gonna go into opening up my.
Too fancy.
Well, no, I don't want to tear into the top of the.
Yeah.
So here we go. This here is the Termagants. We have another one that will give us another one of these for the full
Yeah.
10.
10. Yeah.
So this is repeatable. So we'll open up real quick into issue 7.
Oh, I think it's still.
And as you can see,
we get a ruler.
you get a ruler here that allows you to go from
Measure
1 to 12.
Yeah, so you can measure how far your player can go.
Yeah.
I'll take.
So yeah, we'll now step into the first issue.
Alright, we done with
issue
these?
7. Yeah, we're done there. Here's the how to build for the Termagants. Pretty easy to build. They're not a bad build for but there's a lot of the more you have. Because with my army right now, I've got nearly 60.
60, yeah, I've noticed that. You've got nearly 60 of them.
Well, I do have 60.
Yeah.
Just 10 of them aren't
Painted,
built.
Yeah, painted or built.
Yeah. And then this gives you everything plus your Ripper Swarm, which gives you a total of 11 out of what would be out of a normal box.
Yeah.
But this is your basic, and then you get into some of the Angels of Death, the storyline,
Which is kind of cool.
Lightning Strike.
Different abilities and stuff. Like the different things they can do.
Your armies, the Hive Mind, things like that. Yeah, if you need to do that.
I mean, look at that. I love even in the
artwork.
The artwork and the pictures are even phenomenal. I mean,
Yeah,
I love how
yeah.
phenomenal they are. Even in
Well,
the
most of the stuff that you're seeing here, this is
it's
actual photography.
photographer, like from the actual, like someone
And
actually
someone's
built,
actually
painted them,
Yeah,
and they actually took pictures of it and had it. Like,
Now here it says synapse organism. Now the Tyranid, they are a hive mind, so they work off of one person or one HQ that really has the power to control. The bigger ones, like a Swarm Lord or a Hive Lord, they have that capability. Now we will get a Hive Lord.
now those are gonna be fun.
Or no, a Hive. Well, there's a Hive Tyrant.
Hive Tyrant, or whatever we'll call it.
It's one of the premium models. Yeah, Hive Tyrant.
Yeah.
It's a nice big model, but it can also be turned into that Swarm Lord. Now, if
wait
you
until
get yours going, I can get the other one turned into a Swarm Lord, and I'm still,
Yeah.
But you gotta. But anyway, this, as a whole, having that as a big HQ and a monster in your army, it's well worth it. Yeah, well worth it.
Oh yeah. And see, now we get into the actual how the ruler works and stuff like that.
The scenario, movement and measure, and how they work,
and how the measurement goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice that they actually
And then,
give you a nice little ruler.
Again,
More movement.
it goes through the rules and how they work
and the movement and
everything.
how they move and everything.
Mm-hmm. And then if you got a charge, it goes charge state. You got maybe a 3. You roll it to see however much you need to get in. The rules are very simple. And when we start getting to play,
it's very explanatory too.
We will start playing once you get some models done.
Models done, yeah.
Well, actually, we could use some of my models and we could go through.
Yeah. And then if we have to, we can probably do a small little tutorial video to kind of we'll get into that. We'll discuss that another.
Yeah, we will. We'll do that.
There's a lot of stuff that we need to discuss.
Then this is like waking the swarm.
Oh yeah.
And Tyranid, they are a swarm. Yeah, but there's many different forms in which their detachments are. That's in later.
And there's different kinds of swarms and different colors of swarms, and that's for a later video.
You get a picture of this picture.
Oh yeah, go for it. But that's in another
it
video.
shows you what you're doing and how to do it
and where they move and how many spaces they can move and
attacks and again, it's the amount of which a miniature has. So if you've got a 6-inch movement, you move the 6 inches. If you are within possibly charge distance, you can roll to see and then measure that out.
Yeah. But getting the actual pieces like this, that would be nice.
Yeah.
For the game board, that would be nice to get those actual pieces.
Yeah.
Eventually.
They don't exist.
I know they don't exist anymore.
And then you have Tyranid Swarm, Hive Swarm, Space Marines. Again, this is the movement and phase and everything that gives you the ability to learn what you're doing.
Yeah.
And play the game right.
Play the game right, properly.
You know?
That's pretty cool.
And then here's for the Space Marine victory or the Tyranid victory. I will always root for the Space Marines,
of course.
Who
wouldn't?
Well,
the Space Marines are technically the good guys anyway.
No, the Space Marines, if you go through the lore, are the bad guys.
And so,
but you don't realize that until you start reading or listening to the Horus Heresy series, which is absolutely a phenomenal series. You should really start listening to that if you get the chance.
Yeah.
And then this just gives you more of what's going on for the way to build up your armies.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you the possibilities there. And then you go back here. Issue 8 gives us the last half of those minis plus the bases.
Bases, yeah.
And then, I was right. Retributor.
Retributor. Yeah, you were right. It's the Retributor Gold, and then the Armadon Black.
Abaddon Black.
That's gonna be a nice color.
Well, I've got tons of it.
I'm just saying, you'll have extra. You have extra. It's a nice color.
Yeah, it's a good color.
That. Exactly. It's a great.
All right. You want to go to 8? Get 8, and then we'll do that one.
Where's 8 there?
Oh. Sorry for the quick darkness. And then here we are opening into 8. Just barely cutting in because I do not want to cut the top of my table here. And then there we go. We have in here a base, and then we have the rest of the models. This base here is what you will put the Ripper Swarm.
Ripper Swarm, yeah.
This is for the Ripper Swarm.
Yeah.
And then these are all for
these guys.
The Termagants.
These guys are, even though they're small, they still got some. They still got some pretty good.
Yeah, the Gaunts are okay, but my favorite ones are actually the Hormagaunts because they actually. Yeah, the Hormagaunts are better. They're the more up close, slashy.
They're the more of the perk, like the.
And then here we get into how to paint. You know?
Yeah.
You know, how to paint your Termagants and everything else. And your little Ripper Swarm, as I said. For me, Ripper Swarms aren't going to be used in my army because
they don't do much. They're useless.
Well, they are a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
It just takes one hit and you wonder where they went.
Oh, I know. That's why I don't like using those too much.
Yeah, and then as they see it just goes through and gives you the paint.
There's the purple, but for me, I'm gonna be making it more of a red, so it's gonna.
No. You're actually using the Xeris purple and then going in further
with the red. Yeah, but I'm making it more of a reddish color. So.
Well, no, it is actually purple.
Yeah, it's purple, but it's like a darker purple. Almost.
Oh, yeah, it's a very dark purple.
Yeah.
No. So
that's pretty though.
Yeah, this is a burgundy that they're using.
That's a pretty burgundy though.
And then we go in. This is the rest of it, and this is what they look like when they're up to what we have for the paints.
You might have to put some of those circle things on.
No, I think I'm going to be doing that with all of them. Yeah. And then it gives you into more of the.
And these ones are which ones?
This is Unitorian.
These are the Unitorian.
No, this is just another part of the storyline by the looks of it.
I love the color of the red berets and stuff. That's
and then you get more of the lifeblood of the Imperium, sign of the office, the different Aquilas. The Second Tyranid War. This is about the swarms coming in and Leviathan Hive.
Yeah.
This is very, very much in the lore, a lore-driven game.
Yeah.
So the more you know about the lore and what army you decide, it's easy to do. You know, it really is.
Yeah.
And then this is a battle.
The Battle of Aiden? Or how do you say that? Battle of... I don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't remember. I know it's said in the book, but I think this is the one where they... I don't remember. And then...
Wow.
Akar 4...
What is that, a saw? That is cool, whatever that is. Looks like a saw.
That's a gun belt.
That's cool, though. I love how the gun's like... You know.
That's a gun belt, I believe.
Ooh, those are some interesting crafts. Space Marine crafts.
This is a Space Marine.
No, these crafts here. Whatever crafts these are cool.
This is high. This is a Tyranid.
Tyranid crafts?
Yeah,
those
that's
are cool.
all Tyranid.
That's cool.
Well, the other thing, Tyranids, if they land on something, they wipe everything out.
And then they take it over.
Well, no. They leave. And the planet is nothing left. It's a dry, dead husk. There's no life whatsoever. They take all the living matter.
Yeah.
If they land in a Hulk, a giant spaceship that's been lost through the warp and it comes back out, they hit a Hulk, they'll actually attach to the Hulk and invade it. And if there's anything in there, they will attach and move that as a way to travel.
Yeah.
It allows them to bring more mass into their system. So
that's why they're more of like a hive. That's why I kind of understand that they're a hive mind. That's where that whole
see,
concept
invade,
comes.
Overwhelm, consume.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Exactly what they do for the Tyranids. And then here's more for the Termagants.
Like I said,
and this is how you name them.
Like we said, these things are sucky. These things suck.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their...
Yeah,
they only have one hit. You know,
and they can only move. They can only do one move at a time, and you're like...
Well, I think they... Well, I don't know their range well. I mean, I don't play Tyranid.
No, I agree.
The Tyranid, as for myself, I'm just building the army, and I'm taking my time. I don't... Yeah. So you get to name your unit here. And whatever they get to have done beforehand. Oh, I got that.
Yeah, I was about to say, ooh.
There. And then this is the data sheet. Termagants. They don't have for the Ripper Swarm in here.
No. Definitely do not.
I mean, they are infantry. These are baseline.
Yeah. So they have. See, these ones have six. They got a 6 inch move, so it's not a bad.
No, they got move. 1 wound. Mm-hmm. Toughness 3, which means they're easy to wound.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like. A single squad of Space Marines has a good chance of taking out a whole unit within
a couple moves.
Well, no, within just. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got a great chance of taking them all out in a single round.
Yeah.
And then you get your charge in combat. This gives you what you're going to do for charging. Gives you the rules for that. Mm-hmm. So that again, rules. This whole deal
is the rules are important.
Yeah. As we go through each magazine, it gives you more rules of the rules that you get to use for playing.
That's what I love. That's the beauty of it, because you don't have. It's not like not to get off topic, but it's not like other games where they don't really have much of a rule book, and you have to learn from someone else.
Well,
like
in this
stuff, someone has to explain more. A lot of different games, a lot of them, the rules aren't really detailedly explained like this, which is nice. And this is nice that it's details.
Well, but I mean, D&D is a total different.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's like
Well, each faction has got their own rules.
That's what I'm saying. I love how it kind of goes into each rules of each faction, which is nice. So you get more details of how to do everything.
Yeah, yeah. And the first series of, in the beginning, we're getting rules on all levels. All levels for how everything's played. Yeah.
So we're getting more detailed rules.
Yeah. And then we got to go here. Turn and move, Space Marine, shoot and fight. Turn and shoot and fight. You get in for how it works.
Explain example turn.
Yep.
Explains the different turns.
Well, yeah. Turn one, it gives you an example of how that works. But this is what they're doing,
Yeah.
But
they're just kind of showing us, basics. It's basically just the basics of the rules.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And it's a visual learner.
Yes.
Because not everybody
is someone who
an auditory. Yeah. But if you get the auditory and visual, or some people are just visual. Me, I like
visual
to see and hear the explanation as to how things run.
Yeah, I agree. It's me, I'm more of a I got to see something or actually be doing it in order to understand.
Yeah,
that's just how I am. I'm very hands-on like that.
Yeah,
I guess you'd say.
Yeah, and then you get into the rest of how it goes and moves and fights. Each turn, each game, and then as all these magazines are absolutely
very self-explanatory.
Yeah.
They're easy to simple to follow, which is nice.
Yeah, and that gives a very wonderful feel.
That didn't sound good.
Yeah, when you get to follow what goes on, it makes it for an easier. And then you have your either Space Marine or Tyranid Victory. So yeah, well, with that, I will say thank you for watching, and if you like what you see, please hit that like button, subscribe, and share. Even leave a comment, because I do respond, and I'm trying to get other people, the ones that are also here with us, to respond as well. So again, welcome, and thank you to everyone for joining us here at Lady Valorith Games. You have a great and rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Catch you later.
There we go.